Okay, so let's talk about the caveman days, the Neolithic ages. Back then, the primary responsibility of a man was to just survive, right? Hunting and gathering resources and probably looking for shelter. These were his day to day activities. Think about those times and think about how hard it was to mate during those times. How hard was it to come across someone of the opposite gender and reproduce? I think there is a statistic that does say that we come from just 33% of male ancestors. So that would mean that 66% of the men that came on planet Earth did not reproduce. So that just shows how difficult it was to actually find one partner and actually pass on your DNA. Now, fast forward to 2023 and think about how easy it is to view promiscuous women doing absolutely absurd things all in the palm of your hands. And yes, I'm talking about pornography. Right now you have an array of women, probably numbering in millions, doing anything that you want, whenever you want, however you want, at all times. And this superpower, this window through which you can view these women, rests in your back pocket at all times. It's like you have the world's most addictive substance right in your pocket. And the thing about this substance is that your body naturally craves it because that's its purpose, to reproduce. That's why we're here on this planet. Evolutionary psychology. And this is why pornography is so dangerous and so addictive. Now, the human brain, in my opinion, was simply not meant for this level of novelty. A million different women doing a million different things. Like, it just cannot handle the stimulation, the dopamine that it receives. And as a repercussion of that, it really damages you, makes you way too satisfied. Like, think about this from this perspective. Your body actually rewards you for successfully mating. And at least that's the illusion that it gets when you masturbate to pornography, right? That you have successfully mated, you have successfully procreated. So once you get that satisfaction of having successfully passed down your genes, there is no incentive for the body to remain, let's say, in an aggressive state, or be kind of ready, or be kind of alert, or give you those extra resources such that you can now find a suitable partner. It gets the idea that job done, good, give him a dopamine kick, relax him. And that's how most people feel right after they have done the deed. They feel sedated. They feel tired. They feel satisfied. They feel unmotivated, right? However, little does it know that you have merely been masturbating while looking at some video, some few pixels on the screen, and you actually have not successfully mated. You actually have not done the arduous task of actually securing a mate, of being an accomplished, competent man who could attract a mate and then thereby reproduce. It has skipped all of these things and jumped right to the end stage. And the problem with this is you get the reward without any effort. And the more you do this, the more addictive it gets. Reward without effort. However, the problem lies that this will actually destroy your dopamine receptors. I think there's a body of literature that does suggest that this unregulated amount of dopamine actually causes your body to reduce its own dopamine receptors. So you actually start finding other things incredibly boring. And you must have observed it, right? Right after you've done the deed, other things become boring, seem boring. You become kind of like a sedated zombie who just runs behind instant gratification even more. Now here's what can actually benefit you. However, this is not the right way to proceed with these things. I would actually argue that channelizing your sexual energy, of course, you're going to build it up, right? Not nutting for a couple of weeks or a couple of days. You're going to build this energy inside you, this ball of energy, this hyperactivity, that urge. I think you should channelize this energy into positive domains, and domains which actually give you real life rewards. Like, channel this energy into some sort of martial art, or weights, or reading, or whatever activity that you can find which can dispose of this energy, and in exchange of this energy, that activity should give you some sort of real life gains, right? Like, pornography doesn't give you real life gains. It does help you expel that energy, but in exchange of what? Absolutely nothing. You actually feel guilty and worse the very next day, and damages your dopamine receptors. However, you need to find avenues that give you a better exchange, right? You are going to give that sexual energy to that avenue, such that that avenue does return the favor and actually provides you with something incredible, something worthy, something that can be accrued into something bigger, right? Putting that energy into your business, your homework, your studies, your workouts. You need to have these preset avenues where you can expel your excessive energy. And think about it from a very physical perspective, or a very materialistic view. Like, your sperm or semen, it can actually give rise to life. Think about how potent it is. I'm pretty sure it's not easy to make it. Like, I'm talking about the amount of effort and how taxing it is for your body to actually gather the nutrients and go through the process of, let's say, producing semen. I think it's quite taxing for the body. And the fact that you just expel it repeatedly, day after day, week after week, for nothing, for not even procreating, for just doing the deed for your hedonistic desires, I think it's taxing your body a lot. And I know you must have heard so many anecdotal cases. I know there's no relevant research, but when you have thousands and thousands of these anecdotal cases of people telling how miserable they feel after they have done the deed, how low energy they feel, then this is just more than anecdotal evidence. At this point, this is an hypothesis, to say the least. And I'm pretty sure there is going to be a body of research that's going to come out in the next 10-20 years claiming how destructive masturbation really is. And the light bulbs above everyone's head will glow then. However, if you're watching this video, you have already felt it. You already know how destructive this habit really is. You don't need a peer-reviewed paper telling you about how destructive it is, because you have felt it, right? You have sampled it. You have your own experiences. And from my own experience, when I have gone months and months and months while I was retaining and fasting, I felt incredible, physically, mentally. There was no brain fog. I was hyper-focused. I always was looking for avenues to channel this energy. I required less sleep. I could work out more intensely. I was in physically better shape. Like, an array of benefits, like all these benefits which you must have already heard. Like, I don't need to reiterate them. But this is more than mere placebo. There is definitely some science to this. And this feeling can be reproduced in a bunch of different people. So this is reproducible. It's not just a figment of your imagination. Now, how do you exactly... I don't want this to be a no-FAP video, but more like a general introduction how no-FAP and semen retention can be a great tool for your journey. I would say you live in a very hypersexualized society where there is literally hypersexualized content all around you, even on the streets, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. There is hypersexualized content all around you. And we know that men are visually stimulated. Like, I know there's some research on this, that men are more visually stimulated. They did the study, I think, where men were made to view images, and they found that they were more stimulated by these images as compared to women. So as a man, you live in an environment which is technically working against you. So there's this principle in Islam, and it's so applicable in today's times. It's like it was almost written for today's times. And it's like it's something along the line. It's that the believer, that the Muslim, does not actually look at women. Basically, it's like avoiding mechanisms of trigger. You lower your gaze each time you view someone or something that is hypersexualized. So you basically prevent anything that is hypersexual or sexually attractive or just attractive from being in your window. I call this the window because you can actually see through these eye sockets. So you prevent all sorts of sexual content from ever reaching this to begin with. It's like prevention is better than cure. I think Islam has a bunch of such principles which cater to preventing the problem rather than finding a cure for the problem. This makes it quite pragmatic, and this advice is so solid, especially in 2023. Avoid looking at things to begin with that are hypersexualized. This could be women walking down the streets that you have attraction for, or images on social media, etc., etc. At this point, I don't even use the browse icon on social media because I know the chances are you are going to encounter something which is hypersexual in nature. So yeah, living in 2023, it's like it's you against the world to a degree.